Alright, I'm gonna try powering through this. Haven't been feeling well today, but I got some good news, and the good news is we got the official remade version of Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sonic movie, including a new look at him in a new trailer. We're gonna go over that right now. So if you're interested in videos like this, gaming news about the Sonic movie, and just everything about the gaming world in general from yours truly, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you get notified. And of course, hit that bell icon, which will give you those notifications. So today it just came out of nowhere when I was, scrolling through Facebook while I was laying in bed. We got the new trailer for a Sonic movie. A couple months ago, we got our first look at him, and people were less than happy, myself included. But here we are a couple months later, and Paramount Pictures has been hard at work getting this movie ready, and we're just a couple days shy from, or past, that original release date that Sonic was supposed to have for the movie. It's now been pushed to Valentine's Day 2020, and thank goodness it was, because if you've seen what the original looked like, you would know it's one of the biggest slaps in the face to anyone that ever grew up playing the Sonic games, or just disrespectful to anyone that can look at something and realize that's not how it's supposed to look. So it's kind of weird how Paramount was able to get something so badly wrong before, and now they got it so clearly right this time. It's just amazing what they have done with this character and the work they put in to make him look a lot better. And of course, I could show you the trailer here, but I'm not interested in getting any kind of strikes or anything like that. I want to be able to show you my thoughts, or at least tell you my thoughts, because as I mentioned many times before, Sonic is one of my favorite characters ever, and seeing him on the big screen finally, outside of an anime feature or just direct to film kind of things, it's awesome to see. For me as a fan, someone that's grew up loving this character for so long, it's going to be awesome to see it. And there's many funny moments within the trailer itself. I'm excited that Jim Carrey's character is actually going to be called Dr. Robotnik in the movie. We'll probably get to a point where he calls him Eggman, and that's just kind of how it works out. But me personally, this is kind of a small tangent. I've just never been a fan of the Eggman nickname being like his name throughout. And I get that in not Japanese, but over in Japan, Eggman is essentially what he's really actually known as. And over in America here, we've kind of just adopted the Dr. Robotnik name and just kind of gone from there. And we've held on to it a lot longer than everyone else. But I like the idea of Dr. Ivo Robotnik, and Jim Carrey just looks fantastic. And we didn't get a shot of him in his typical Robotnik look with the shaved head, and the mustache is a mile long. We didn't get that in this trailer, but we did in the original trailer. We got a look at Green Hill Zone in this one, which looked fantastic. Sonic himself looked fantastic. It looks like hopefully they change up some of the lines, like the whole meow thing was just so, I don't know, I'm gonna assume that might still be in there, but it kind of sounded, it just looked better too. They took away the Coolio song, which I think was a good move on their part. I hope that's just not a part of this movie going in the future. I believe Blitzkrieg Bop was the song that they used in this trailer. It wasn't the Ramones version, it was a cover version. That was a really cool touch. And sorry, I seem less enthusiastic than I'm actually making myself out sound. It's just, head cold, and it's freaking annoying. But here I am. I'm here at home, so I decided, let's get our thoughts out there, stand up, wear a Sonic shirt, and talk about how much I love Sonic. And this movie looks really good. If there's a couple things, one thing I want to point out I thought was a really cool touch is him reading all these Flash comics, and of course Flash is I'm a big fan of the Flash as well, so having those two naturally kind of come together in that way was a really cool touch that Paramount ended up doing. Another thing is, there's just two things I want to point out that I'm not necessarily, I don't know if I'm going to be a big fan of. I don't like the idea that Sonic is essentially an alien, and I kind of was hoping for, like, it's normal for this hedgehog to be running around, but it's not. Like, he is from another planet, and that's the idea here. And I don't know how I feel about that particular aspect of the story, but I'll wait and see. I'll give it a chance and just kind of see where that kind of goes, or how hard they lean into that idea. The idea is that Sonic's trying to be captured because he's essentially an alien here on Earth, but I don't know about that. Another thing I'm not sure of is his actual personality. Now, Sonic is kind of like a too cool for school kind of guy, but in my opinion, the character we saw in this movie trailer seemed a tad Detective Pikachu-ish. Like, it seemed like they really leaned hard on that Ryan Reynolds-esque humor for this mascot, and I can kind of get that because it's naturally just going to be compared to that movie. But I don't want to see... Sonic kind of acts, I think, a little out of character for me personally, and I hope I'm just kind of being crazy and just thinking I'm seeing or hearing things, but it just seemed a little too derivative of Pikachu and his, his attitude within the Detective Pikachu movie. But maybe I'll be proven wrong, and hopefully I will be. But we're about 3 months away from the release of this movie in 2020, and it should be a fun one. I'm excited for it a lot more than I was a few months ago when we got that first trailer, because my God, I don't know who thought that was supposed to be Sonic, and you start to kind of believe that maybe they're onto something, these conspiracy theorists, that maybe Paramount did this on purpose to give you a crappy looking Sonic, and they had the idea of like, well, we're gonna go work on it for a few months, and we'll be back. We gotta go fix this fast. And you come back later and you have like this damn near perfect design. It's like, what? That doesn't even make sense. Like, what was their initial vision for Sonic as a character? Like, were they wanting to create him as like just something that might have seemed ultra realistic in this world? I mean, the idea is he's an alien, so I mean, let's go with that. Like, he doesn't have to look so original, which is what they kind of looked like they were going for. Like, it didn't look like anything like Sonic. Like, if you woke me up from a deep sleep and you said, hey, this is a Sonic movie, I'd be like, that's not Sonic. And I would have been like, okay, I could see that was an attempt at him, but it's not anything he's actually supposed to look like. But in this new trailer, he just looks perfect. The one, if I'm gonna be really nitpicky here, is his arms aren't tan; they're blue. They're his fur, but that's just a small thing. And I believe there's a couple, or at least nowadays, there's some representation of Sonic with that. And, I don't know off the top of my head, but I want to say it's not the first time he's had blue arms, although it could be. Whatever. I'm not really too focused on the arms or the skin tone of what his arms look like. Big deal. But that's just a random nitpick I came up with, and they did a very good job of, typically in Sonic you see like essentially it looks kind of like one big eye, but they made it look like you can tell it's two eyes, but it looks pretty faithful to what Sonic actually looks like, and it's overall just looks so much better. And I wish I had more to say than that, and the mind is just not with me today. It's just kind of all over the place. But point is, this is good news. I'm ready for the Sonic movie now, and I'm ready for it, and I will be there first in line. I'll be there Valentine's Day, hopefully, and go see it as soon as it launches, because, like I said, Sonic, big deal to me, and I know it's a big deal to a lot of people, and it's a bigger deal to even more. So this is something they need to get right, and hopefully the movie follows suit. It's a fun movie. It looks something you can bring the family to. It's not going to break any box office records, but it has a chance to being a video game adaptation that can really do well. And it would be nice to get back-to-back wins. I mean, Detective Pikachu, I enjoyed. I mean, I know some people didn't, but I thought it was a good movie. It wasn't really necessarily a video game adaptation, it just featured video game characters, but technically it's a video game movie because it's based off a video game property. And Sonic is too, so hopefully the Sonic movie does well, which would kind of lead future studios to want to lean towards movies like this. And we have a chance here. Paramount, you made good so far. Let's just hope the rest of the story, the script, the rest of the acting holds up. Jim Carrey seems to be phenomenal in this role so far from what we have seen, and to see how he reacts with Sonic and the rest of the characters. And I'm interested to see if we're going to get any visuals of maybe Tails or Knuckles in the future, and boy am I going to be scared if they're going to be in there, because what are they going to look like? And they're not going to have the chance to test that water. They're going to just dive right in. They'll be like, alright, well, here's Tails. I want to say that they'll have some kind of visual of Tails at some point, probably in the end credit scene. Maybe you'll see Sonic, and then you see him from behind, you just see kind of like Tails wagging, and Sonic just like hanging out next to him, and you just get a back representation of the two. But I would imagine you'll get Sonic back in Green Hill Zone at the end of the movie, and he'll be with someone that would be considered a cameo, but be like, oh yes, he's in it, cool. And maybe we'll go from a sequel from there, who knows. But that's all I got. What were your thoughts on the new trailer? Of course, the trailer is linked in the description below. Forgot to mention that. I'm not showing it because reasons. So go ahead and click that if you haven't seen it yet. What are your thoughts? Leave them down below, of course. And we are also giving away 3 months of Google Stadia Pro if you hadn't heard about that. Link in the description for that as well, of course. Until next time, sorry again, thank you, and party on.